So this is Carrie, CARIOCA 656 on a FIAT platform. It's a manual. You can drive it on a standard UK licence under 3.5 tonne, and it's about 6.5 metres long. And we're going to take you around and show you how everything works right now. So the important thing you need to remember before you pull up on site is most campsites will have a service point which will give you fresh water, or if you're filling it up at home or with us, this is where you do it. This little door slides up. Make sure you got the hose all the way in, else that's just going to overflow real quick. So make sure that the hose is shoved all the way in, turn the tap on until that overflows, and then you know your tanks are full. Then you can pull up onto your pitch and get it all levelled, get all your electric plugged in, and we'll show you that now. So once you're on your pitch, you're going to need to level the vehicle up. So in the back here, you can find your levelling chocks. Now they might need setting back a little bit depending on how much you want to level the vehicle. So it might not always be under the ramp, but you could stick them back like this if you just need to bring the front up a little bit less. So once you've got your spot, all you need to do is get your levelling blocks out, put them under your wheels. Obviously it'll vary depending on what terrain you're on, but just now you know how to use the handbrake, carefully start the vehicle, make sure it's out of gear, put it forward or reverse, let the handbrake off. Using the banksman is always good. And then just back it up onto the ramps. So most campsites will have a hookup point that looks like this. Most of the hookup points are numbered. So what you'll do, you'll plug your male end into here, lift this flap up, make sure the locating pin is down at the bottom, plug that in, and then what you're going to need to check is the circuit breakers. So you can see these labelled up here, number 1. We're plugged into number 1. So that's now live and your vehicle's charging and your 3-pin sockets are going to be working. So once you're plugged into the campsite and check the main circuit breaker, this is where you're going to plug into your hookup. So you're looking for the female end, that goes into that. If you are looking to use the hot water or the heating, it's important that you're going to take this cover off here, otherwise your heating's not going to work. So you need to pick this up at the bottom, pull it off, and then that's good to go. Make sure you put this back on and it's secure, otherwise it's going to fly off on the way home. So this is your cassette toilet. Make sure this is emptied before you leave the campsite. There's normally an house and disposal point, and we'll show you how to dispose of the rubbish now. Right, to empty the cassette toilet, what you need to do is swivel this neck round, undo this, pop that on the side somewhere safe, and then what you want to do is press this button here. That releases any air, what's in there, to stop it sloshing about. And then what we're going to do, we're going to swirl this out a few times, fill it up to make sure everything's out. Pop this lid back on, give it a good shake around, and then repeat the process a couple of times till that runs clear. When it has run clear, all you need to do then is pop a little bit in the bottom. Just so it covers the bottom of the toilet. And then we're going to put a bit of toilet blue in, just to help break down all the waste. And that's good to go back in the van. So to put that back in once it's clean, push it into this little slot. It guides its own way in there, clicks into place. Make sure that's secure, and that's all good to use. The next thing you need to make sure is you've got your gas turned on, because your fridge can run off gas, as well as your oven and your heating. So that you're going to unlock this and then ensure this taps on. If this bottle does run out, there is a gas spanner in here. It is a reverse thread, so just make sure you're doing that the right way and connect it up to the other bottle that's in the gas locker. Always make sure that's switched off before you're driving. So to wind out the awning handle is located just inside this door. And if you come outside, we'll show you how to pop that up now. And we're looking for the loop on this end. Hook that in and then start winding. When it comes down to a height where you can grab the legs, If you are on your own, it's a good point to get the legs out. For the legs, you'll pull them towards you. Make sure this is clear of the casing, otherwise you're going to bend the casing, and then fold that down. Get that to a suitable height and just do this wing nut up. And then the same with the other leg. You need to make sure this end's pulled out first, and then that comes out afterwards. That's going to help support it out now. I'm just going to move the awning out a little bit further. Then if we just walk the legs forward. And then that's all the way out. Notice that the legs don't go all the way straight, so don't think you're doing anything wrong. That's how it should be. Then what you want to do is make sure you've got these legs nice and tight and at a suitable height. What I tend to do is put one side higher than the other, so if it does have a light shower or the rain runs off, please note in high winds and heavy rain, this has got to be pulled in because it will go up and over and damage the vehicle and the awning. So when you're putting this awning out, what you need to make sure is that you pull this aluminium pin out of the plastic and then pull the leg out, and then only then can you drop this down. Don't try and pull this out before, because it'll break the plastic pin and it'll bend the casing. So you need to clear the casing, pull it down, then you can undo the wing nut and get it to your desired height, tighten up the wing nut, and that's then secure. The reg tags on the outside of the awning show you that the awning is open. When you've got the awning fully retracted, those red tabs will go in. When you're putting it away, you need to make sure these legs are folded towards the casing, so they're facing outwards, and then it clicks in, and then you can do the wing nut up. So when you pulled up on the campsite, you wanted to get everything switched on. This is the control panel. So this one's your water pump. Make sure the water tank is full before you put this one on. You should hear that pressurise if it's the first time you switched it on. This is the master switch for all the interior lighting. This is also a master switch for the exterior awning light, but you've got to have this one on to enable that one to be switched on. You've also got a water level monitor. So this one's your fresh water, and that one's your wastewater, and we'll show you how to empty those in a second. And then you've also got your battery level monitor. So this is your vehicle battery at the bottom, and that is your leisure battery at the top there. So in Carrie we've got lots of storage. There's a big wardrobe in here. That's also got your cab blinds in there, ready to put those on the front. There's a hanging rail. When you are driving, just make sure you've got these locked, otherwise these doors are going to fly open. That goes for the same at the top there. If you've got anything stored in these lockers, it's just good practice to have those shut in case it falls out. So these are just push to lock. Plenty of storage throughout this vehicle. You also got a little shutter up here. So this is your kitchen unit here. Once you've got the water pump switched on and the hot water on, you'll get hot water out this tap here, as well as in the bathroom. Let's just pull this tap up. It will drain out into your waste tank. Next to it, you've got your 4-burner hob, and that's just off a ignition switch to the left, and you just turn and they light up. If it's the first time you're switching them on, it might be a little bit of air in the pipes, but just give it a little bit more time to purge through. Switched off. You've got oven and grill down here. You've got an interior light for the oven, and then you will need to push this on, and then that'll light automatically for the grill. You've also got plenty of storage. You've got a cutlery drawer right here. You also have more storage down here, your gas isolation valves, and a drawer with all your cutlery and your draining board there as well. And then you've got the fridge. So if you're hooked up The best power source is the 230 volts, so you just click that over and that will illuminate, and it will that'll just keep it all on the hookup. If you put it on 12 volt only whilst you're driving, so that will keep everything cool if you've got a long journey ahead. So always remember to switch that over if you're driving. And then gas, if you're off grid, you can hear that lighting. As long as your gas is on, that's going to light, and you can hear the flames lit. And this is how cold you want the fridge, so you can turn it all the way up to keep everything cool. There's a freezer section at the top, and all the rest is the fridge section. And then when you finish with it, just switch it to the off position. So this vehicle's fitted with fly nets and blinds for the evening. So the fly net's this one here, push that down and back so that latches into place, and then when you want it to sleep, you've got this one that pulls down and does the same. They latch into place. Some of the windows are a little bit different, so we'll show you how to do those now. So this one, the fly net comes down from the top and clicks into the bottom, and then your nighttime blind comes up and pushes up from there. To separate those, you can just pull these two and just pull that down. And to open the windows, it's pretty straightforward. Just undo all these hooks, and then you're going to have to go till it clicks. That's the first stage. Second, and then to get it down, you're going to need it to go all the way open, past the last click, and then bring it in. You can leave it open to vent, but with this window in particular, you need to make sure that if you have got your heating on gas, that this window is fully closed because of the carbon monoxide switch over there. Windows and the blinds are exactly the same as the last one, but what you need to make sure is this is undone before you open the window, and to keep it open you need to do that back up. And just make sure when you are closing it that this is undone again, so you don't break this stay. So in this vehicle, the lights, once you've got the master switch on the panel, all these lights are individually switched on the side. There's a couple up on the roof, one under here, and there's a couple in the beds at the front and the back as well. So just each one of them's got their own individual switch. There's several power sockets around the vehicle. You've got the 3-pin plug sockets that are only going to work when you're plugged in on hookup, and there's one down here under the dining area, and there's also one at the back of the vehicle next to the fire extinguisher. Perfect. In the cupboard at the front of the vehicle there is a 12 volt socket and also another additional 230 power socket. The 12 volt socket's going to work all the time, and you can use that to charge up your phones using the USB adapters, and the 3-pin socket's only going to work when you're plugged in on hookup. So to use the blown air heating system, this is this unit down here, and we're going to press down this knob on the left, and then that will light, and then you've got your fan speed over here on the right. You can turn that up and down there. This is also running off the gas. Always make sure you've got your gas isolator switched on. So this is your water heater. You need to make sure again your gas is on, and then that covers off on the outside like we showed you earlier. And then you can either flick it down, flick it up to your 50 degrees, centers off, and then down to your 70 degrees. But just bear in mind that is burning gas as well. So in the toilet and bathroom, you've got your Thetford cassette toilet, which we showed you how to empty earlier. This seat does swivel around to allow you a bit more comfortable sit on there. And then underneath, make sure you've got this open whilst you're using the toilet. To use the flush, make sure your pump's switched on, and then you press this blue button here. So there is a separate shower cubicle as well. You've got your hot and cold mixer tap in there. As long as you had your water on long enough to warm up, that's going to give you nice hot water. And then you've got your shower screen, which comes across from this side and locks into this side, so it keeps the toilet dry. So in here, to allow some of the steam to come out, you've got a little reef vent. Just push those up and always make sure that's closed before you're travelling away. So at the front, you've got a skylight here. You push the button in and then slide this forward into all the way up position. And then you've got two separate vent positions here, one there and one further down. And always make sure this is closed before you drive away, as you're going to lose that on the motorway. You've also got a fly screen and a blind for the night time. The one on the back slightly different to the other two. You've got this small winding handle and that opens all the way up. Again, make sure you got this shut before you're driving away. So if you do need some additional sleeping space, you can turn this dinette into a double bed. You can start by taking this table off, which you just lift up this end, and then you can pop out the table leg. Lift the table off, and then that slides down into these two little sections down the bottom. Then pull the ends of the beds out. Move that out of the way. Same with this side. Slide that along. And the two infill bits of wood for this side are in this cupboard. And then they've got a little cutout for the seat belts. So that one goes over there. And the other one goes on this side. So you've got ladders to access the bunk beds and the bed over the cab, and they just simply hook into these little plastic slots here. And you can make your way up to the bed there. So when you want to put your cab blinds in, they're stored in this cupboard, and we'll take those and we're going to stick them onto the front side windows and the front windscreen. So these are really straightforward to fit. You've got some suckers here. Get those suckers, make sure your windows are up, and then stick them onto the windows. That's going to black it out and keep the heat in and out as well. You've got a big one for across the front, and obviously another one for the other side window. Same principle, but when you put the front ones on, just drop these sun visors down. That's going to keep out all the light there. So to remove these blinds, you don't grab it like this. You need to grab each individual sucker and just pull them off. And then fold them up, pop them back in the cupboard. So if your waste water tank does get full, this is where you release it, just under here. And you just pull this lever, and then that will drop all the wastewater out of there. Some places do have a serviced grating that you can dispose of this, or you can just drop it on the way back. So on Carrie, the diesel cap is here. Just undo that and fill that up with diesel before you bring it back. Before driving away, there's a few things you need to remember. We need to remember the hookup lead is disconnected, the gas is switched off, roof lights and windows are secure, and the awning is wound in, as well as all the flaps and the doors locked and secure, ready for your journey home.